If global crises always seem to come out of nowhere, why do experts later say the warning signs were there? Because chaos doesn't arrive suddenly, it whispers first. Right now, a global web of data systems is tracking those whispers, not predicting the future, but measuring pressure as it builds. While the world waits for breaking news, this hidden network is already asking one question: where will the next breaking point be? Chaos leaves footprints before it explodes. Most people imagine disasters as sudden events. A war starts, a famine hits, a virus spreads. In reality, almost all major crises build slowly, like pressure inside a sealed container. Small incidents stack on top of each other until the system can't hold anymore. Conflict begins with protests, skirmishes, or political intimidation before it turns into open warfare. Food crises start with rising prices, failing harvests, or blocked supply routes long before starvation appears. Pandemics often begin as strange clusters of illness dismissed as routine. Even natural disasters give warnings through weather patterns, soil saturation, and seismic activity. The hidden network exists to watch these early signals while they still look boring, technical, and easy to ignore. That's what makes it powerful and frustrating. When conflict becomes a measurable signal. Political violence is one of the clearest early indicators of global instability, and today, it's tracked with incredible precision. Modern conflict databases record protests, riots, armed clashes, attacks on civilians, and territorial changes with timestamps and geographic detail. This allows analysts to see when violence is spreading, intensifying, or changing character. What matters isn't just that violence exists, but how it behaves. When incidents become more frequent, expand into new regions, or increasingly target civilians, the data shows a clear escalation pattern. These patterns often appear months before the rest of the world agrees a crisis is underway. This is why conflicts that seem sudden on the evening news often feel inevitable to analysts. By the time global attention arrives, the warning lights have been flashing quietly for a long time. The internet as a seismograph for society? Here's where things get weird and fascinating. The global information environment itself acts like a sensor. Across the world, millions of news articles are published daily in dozens of languages. When those articles are scanned and structured, patterns emerge. Certain words surge. Certain locations suddenly dominate coverage. Emotional tone shifts from neutral to alarmed. Stories that were once local begin echoing globally. This doesn't mean the news predicts the future, but it does mean that collective attention moves before crises fully erupt. Analysts use these shifts the way geologists use tremors, early signals that pressure is building below the surface. It's messy, imperfect, and sometimes distorted by politics or misinformation. But when combined with other data, it becomes a surprisingly useful early warning layer. Nature warns us, we just don't always listen. Unlike humans, nature is brutally honest. Storms don't lie. Rivers don't bluff. Fault lines don't care about press conferences. Modern disaster monitoring systems track earthquakes, cyclones, floods, wildfires, and volcanic activity in near real time. Satellites scan the planet constantly, mapping flooded areas, burned land, damaged infrastructure, and population exposure within hours of a disaster. What's remarkable isn't that disasters happen. It's that in many cases, their impacts are predictable days or even weeks in advance. Flood risk rises upstream before cities drown. Heat waves are modeled before hospitals overflow. Cyclones are tracked long before landfall. The hidden network's role here isn't heroics, it's logistics. Knowing where disaster will hit hardest allows responders to move supplies, prepare evacuations, and reduce casualties if action is taken early enough. Diseases speak softly before they shout. Pandemics never begin with a press conference or a breaking news banner. They begin quietly, almost invisibly. A strange cluster of symptoms in a small clinic, an unusual illness that doesn't quite fit known patterns. A veterinary outbreak that seems unrelated until it isn't. These early moments are easy to dismiss, which is exactly why epidemic intelligence systems exist. Their job is to listen for whispers while the rest of the world is still asleep. These systems continuously scan open sources, local medical reports, and informal signals that rarely make headlines. They separate rumors from credible anomalies, flagging patterns that feel statistically small but contextually strange. Human experts remain essential in this loop because machines alone cannot judge meaning. Not every cough is a catastrophe, and not every anomaly is a threat. What gives this network its real power is speed. Waiting for official confirmation can cost weeks, and in the early stages of disease spread, weeks can change everything. Early detection gives public health systems time to investigate, prepare, and respond before exponential growth turns a contained problem into a global emergency. The goal is not panic. The goal is time. Food insecurity. If there is one area where early warning is both most advanced and most ignored, it is food security. Famine almost never appears overnight. It is not a sudden collapse, but a slow, grinding failure built from overlapping shocks. Conflict disrupts farming. Climate extremes damage crops. Markets fail. Prices rise. People flee. Aid access collapses. Each step is measurable. Each step is trackable. And each step happens long before starvation becomes visible. Food security analysts combine climate data, conflict trends, market prices, crop conditions, and nutrition indicators to project where hunger will worsen. These projections often show crisis conditions months before images of malnourished children reach television screens. Yet funding and political attention frequently arrive late. Hunger lacks spectacle until it becomes catastrophic. It doesn't explode, it erodes. By the time the world reacts, prevention is no longer an option, only mitigation remains. Acting before it's cinematic. Here is the uncomfortable truth. The hidden network works far better at detection than the world works at response. The data exists, the models exist, the warnings are issued clearly and repeatedly. But early action requires money, coordination, and political courage. It requires spending resources on disasters that might happen rather than those already dominating headlines. This is why the world keeps being surprised. Not because the signals weren't there, but because knowing did not translate into action fast enough. Early warning is like a smoke detector. It does its job perfectly the moment danger appears, but it only saves lives if someone trusts it enough to get up and check the fire before the flames reach the ceiling. What the network actually predicts, and what it doesn't. Precision matters here. This network does not predict exact events. It does not announce dates. It does not say, this war will begin on this day, or this country will collapse next month. It does not forecast destiny. What it predicts is risk, pressure, probability, vulnerability. It shows where systems are under strain, where resilience is weak, where shocks are likely to cascade instead of being absorbed. It narrows uncertainty just enough to make early decisions rational rather than speculative. That may sound modest, but in a complex world, reducing uncertainty is a form of power. So why call it a hidden network? Because most people never see it. It does not trend on social media. It does not issue dramatic announcements. When it works, nothing happens, and nothing happening does not go viral. The world hears about disasters constantly. It rarely hears about disasters that were softened, delayed, or prevented entirely. This network is hidden not because it is secret, but because prevention is quiet. It operates in spreadsheets, satellite feeds, probability curves, and early warnings that never become headlines. And yet, it shapes the difference between chaos that explodes and chaos that never quite arrives. If you found this video eye-opening and want to understand how the world really works beneath the surface, make sure you like and subscribe. New videos like this come out regularly, and staying curious might be the smartest survival skill of all.